How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the world's craziest E46 BMW M3 from a first-person point of view. Completely overhauled from the ground up by Vorsteiner, this thing costs nearly $140,000, but I'm about to show you why it's worth every penny of its price tag. Under the hood of the E46 M3 is a 3.2-liter inline-6 that in stock form makes 333 horsepower. Although this car has been modified with an incredible CSL-style carbon fiber airbox from Evolve, as well as a super sprint exhaust and headers, so it makes 380 horsepower. A ton of aftermarket carbon fiber bits from Vorsteiner result in a curb weight drop of 200 pounds. You'll notice we have this gorgeous carbon fiber vented hood, the anniversary logo there, a carbon fiber bumper with a carbon splitter, as well as CSL-style intakes on the left and right. They're actually shaped based on the 3.0 CSL homage car. And if you look here, this is reminiscent of the M2 comp. Now, coming around to the side, one of the signature elements of the E46 M3 is these fender vents. But in this case, they're billet aluminum custom vents made by Vorsteiner that look absolutely incredible. Fun fact about the vents, the driver's side is the only functional vent. It's got an ECU located right by the vent to extract heat, but on the passenger side, it doesn't actually do anything at all. We've got a carbon fiber CSL rear deck lid to save weight as well, a custom carbon fiber rear diffuser, those super sprint exhaust tips. It's sitting on Öhlins road and track suspension. It's got 19-inch 3-piece Vorsteiner wheels that look absolutely gorgeous, as well as upgraded Brembo brakes for added stopping power. Okay, get a load of these absolutely insane carbon fiber bucket seats made by Gunther Works. They're the V2 seats using carbon fiber shell technology, so they're actually hollow, and I love the fact that they have the BMW M stripe colors. We do have an SMG, but it has the CSL upgraded tuning, so it's a little bit better. Alcantara on the steering wheel, custom carbon fiber paddles. Look at those carbon door cards. Everything in the interior is as mint as absolutely possible. I absolutely love the analog gauges in the E46 M3 with the adaptive LED indicators that let you know when the 8,000 RPM red line is accessible and the car is warm. Steering wheel feels fantastic in your hands. Now, the SMG gearbox has some cool settings. If we put it into first gear, you'll notice right now there are 5 individual settings for the shift speed, which can be controlled right here. But if you go ahead and click DSC, push this over one more time, now you can see there's a magical 6th setting available. We click this, and now it's going to shift as fast as possible. All right, guys, let's see what this thing is like to drive. All right, guys, behind the wheel of the E46 M3, and this thing is absolutely epic. Listen to how this sounds. Now, traditionally, E46 M3s are kind of known for their raspy sound, which I don't really love, but this, with that Evolve CSL intake and that super sprint header and exhaust setup, I mean, it just sounds epic. You've got all of that induction noise from the airbox and no rasp. Oh, this is set up so well. No body roll thanks to that Öhlins road and track suspension. I love the E46 M3. It just drives so nice. And this is probably the best sorted example in the world. Now, when you get behind the wheel, you do instantly feel the age of the transmission. But I will say, with the CSL software upgrade, it does shift a lot faster and a lot smoother than an SMG in stock form. Now we're gonna go ahead and click DSC so we can activate that 6th shift setting to make it even faster. Oh, this car is so awesome. So much grip too. Michelin PS4S tires, stiffer sway bars, Brembo upgraded brakes that slow this thing down extremely well. You actually have to be pretty hard on the brakes to slow it down. It's got kind of a pseudo race car brake feel. Not quite as intense, but you definitely have to be deliberate with the brake pressure. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize with the SMG is when you're shifting slow, that's where it really gets kind of frustrating and you can feel the age of the transmission. So when you're accelerating slowly and then you shift, it gives you this swaying motion that leaves lots to be desired. We'll leave it that way. But you actually can get around that by driving it like a manual transmission, which I'll show you. So because this transmission is basically a manual with a robot controlling it, you can drive it like a manual transmission to make it smoother. So if I'm in third and I want to upshift to fourth, I'm on the gas a little bit. Let's get around this corner. And then if I want to smoothly upshift to fourth, I'm accelerating, let off the gas, shift, get back on the gas. And then it's super smooth. It doesn't feel antiquated. Now, if you're going at slower speeds and you accelerate and shift in between without letting off the gas, yeah, that's where it feels kind of ridiculous. Now, it's not the fastest car in the world. Obviously, being created in the year 2000, at 333 horsepower stock, it was pretty quick for the time. But now fast forward to 2024 and 333 horsepower doesn't feel all that crazy. Now, because of the mods, it does make 380 horsepower and it weighs 200 pounds less from all of the carbon fiber Vorsteiner parts, so it's a little quicker. But this car is not about straight line speed. It's about the communication, it's about the exhilaration, and just the feel behind the wheel of the E46. It's so fun to drive. You've got a lot of involvement. The suspension is fantastic at providing plenty of feedback. The only thing I would change, honestly, is having wider front tires to make the steering setup a little bit heavier. It does feel a teeny bit loose, but it still feels great. And by loose, I mean light. I wish it was a little bit heavier. But the steering wheel feels fantastic in your hands. I love the Alcantara wrap. These carbon fiber paddles are phenomenal. And it's just such a pleasure to be behind the wheel of this car. And really the biggest shortcoming of the E46, in my opinion, was the sound. And now with this exhaust and intake setup, it doesn't have an issue with the sound whatsoever. It genuinely sounds awesome. Man, I love this car. I think you couldn't set up an E46 any better than this. Yeah, you could supercharge it to make it a little quicker, but I think NA is the way to go. The level of grip is impressive as well. And it's just such an easy car to drive. Anyone could get behind the wheel and have an absolute blast in the E46. Those PS4S's do such a good job of keeping this thing planted. This with a manual swap, man, that would be the ultimate car. Now you'd think it's a bit crazy to spend 140 grand on a car that you can get for between $10,000 and $30,000. But this car, named the V20 because this is the celebration of the 20th anniversary of Vorsteiner, actually has a special place in the owner of Vorsteiner's heart. So the reason why there's Gunther Works seats in here is Peter, the CEO of Vorsteiner, created Gunther Works. And actually to fund Vorsteiner, to start that up, he had an E46 M3 and he sold it. And using the money from that E46, he built an incredible company and then went on to make Gunther Works. So pretty cool, a full circle moment for the brand to have arguably the best E46 M3 in the world. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Special thanks to Vorsteiner for making this video possible, and special thanks to Evolve as well for making a hell of a carbon fiber airbox. All right guys, see you next video.